What up, everybody? Merry Christmas, Merry Chrysler, whatever it is. We are back, Hopsgeek News, with another great episode. Today, we are joined by the illustrious, the esteemed, our favorite Kat, who is also with us on nerdinitiative.com. She is joining us to talk about The Santa Claus 2, starring Tim Allen, a very creepy version of Tim Allen, and a very creepy Easter bunny, and just a lot of kids on the naughty list. And you know what? 90 Day Fiance got their idea from this film right here. And we'll go into it in just a minute. Hopsgeek News, any social media platform, any podcasting platform, nerdinitiative.com is where our comic book reviews are. We always start off with our reading recommendations, our watching recommendations, some news, no news today, but then our main topic. My beer of the week, I'm going to drink Mad Elf because it's Christmas themed and I really don't have any other Christmas beers because I ain't really been drinking a whole lot lately. So that's what I got. Lauren, solo you real quick, Sandy Claus. What do you have over there?
So I have a Hardywood gingerbread stout, and I was thinking like, oh wow, how did I miss this last year? I didn't miss it last year. Micah sent me this because it is super
That's
fresh.
right.
Was brewed this year.
Yeah.
These Hardywoods, like some of them are a little too sweet for me, but the gingerbread ones are
good.
Perfect. So it's an imperial milk stout with cinnamon, vanilla, ginger, and honey, and that ginger gives it just the right amount of spiciness to cut the sweetness. And I don't have a specific Santa Claus mug, so I have it in a giant candy cane wine glass.
Oh, look at you, fancy. All right.
I like to be festive.
Well, our guest of honor here with us, Kat, who wants to go to Canada because it is the greatest country in the world. What up, Kat? Long time no see. We did a supernatural we say trivia, but more it was just like a slaughtering where neither of us
it was fun though.
Still beat me though.
And we all learned something.
We had like 50 questions and it was like a final score of 3-2. So if that says anything about what happened.
I think it was higher.
I had fun. It was a great time, but Kat is here. So Kat, since we've never formally gotten to have you on one of our episodes, why don't you introduce yourself and let the people know who you are and kind of what you do with Nerd Initiative and things.
Yeah, sure. Hi guys, I'm Kat. I'm one of our many bullpen reviewers. I do our not majority, but I do most of the indie reviews. I do Marvel, kind of a little of everything. I do tabletop news. I've been getting into a little bit of TV news, but yeah, that's kind of all I do.
But you're the go-to for Monster High. Well, we were interviewing somebody who writes Monster High on another comic, and he like knew right away about your reviews.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So definitely.
Well, not even that, but you've just gotten to do like 2 major interviews too. No big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Like who did you get to interview recently?
Yeah, I got to interview the cast of Critical Role for the animated series. No big deal.
Huge. And I know, you're a wicked big fan, and yeah, you're doing like a lot of the tabletop gaming and things like that. And for anybody who's looking for it, I'm putting the link in the bio here. It's an incredible interview. You did amazing. And I know that was like a bucket list item for you. So
yeah, I haven't even watched the show, but I listened to the interviews. And the one girl was in Avengers. She's the one that like flirts with Cap at the cafe.
Yeah, she was also in NBC's Blind Spot, if you haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that, but I feel like she was in something too back in the day because I remember seeing her in Avengers. I should IMDb her. I was like, she looks so familiar. Like she was in something in the 90s. I don't know.
Yeah,
Kat doesn't watch anything from before 2020, so.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, speaking of 2020, I don't know why this is a fun segue, but we are going into our comics. So Kat, as our guest of honor tonight, what are your reading recommendations this week? What did you review this week for nerdinitiative.com?
I kind of only reviewed one book, and it was the new Wiccan book from Marvel, and me and Megan got to review it together. I'm not spoiling anything, but I'll say this. Even if you're like me and not a fan of the character, you're going to love this book, and that's all I'm going to say.
I hard agree because this isn't a book I normally would have picked up, but I was like, all right, let's check it out. It's got some hype behind it, and I can attest that.
You need to read this.
Yeah, I immediately, once I got done, I texted Lauren and said, hey, this is really good. You got to read it. There's a lot of fun quips, lore, and things that they do in this, and it's worth the read. The art's fantastic, and yeah, so I cannot recommend that enough. Lauren, what did you get into this week as far as comic books?
So I did Something's Killing the Children, number 45. I've been reading that for a while. It's so good. The art is so creepy, but it's so beautiful. I can never get over how much I love the art. If you are familiar with the universe, it's very supernaturally, and the fact that they're fighting monsters, but the monsters are targeting children, and they convince everybody around them that monsters aren't real. So that's like the main premise, but there's so much other stuff going on. In my opinion, it is if the men of letters actually got control of monster hunting in America, I feel like that's what the House of Slaughter and everything would be.
Yeah, good point.
From reading issue 0 and issue 1, I wholeheartedly agree with that one.
Which is probably why I was sucked in immediately. But this issue goes a little bit into more of the backstory of Jessica Slaughter, who is like Erica's mentor. So Erica's the main character. So it's nice to see, they're all traumatized because it's just like Supernatural. They all got into hunting via some traumatic experience. So it's kind of nice to kind of flesh out, and you get more of like the background characters and the drama and everything. So that's a fantastic, fantastic one. That's from Boom Studios. I did Laura Kenny Sabretooth. That's still Erica Schultz is still doing that. I love Erica Schultz, Laura Kenny, and this one is part of the Age of Revolution, so it's in the future, and she's a mom now, and I love that because I feel like I always looked at Laura as a child because she's Wolverine's daughter. She's in her early 20s, kind of thing is how I see it. Which I have a daughter in her early 20s, in her early 20s, so I look at her as more from like a mother standpoint. But now she's got a kid, so now I can like relate to her on a realistic level, even though I don't imagine I would ever be in a situation that I'm being mind controlled by somebody and my kid was suddenly sucked into another planet formerly known as Mars, but who knows?
No.
But this issue, go ahead.
I was going to say also, I kind of like that we have this book coming out, and then we have her in the new Generation X-23 coming out, which looks...
Oh, yeah.
Is Erica Schultz doing that one too?
I don't know.
I hope so. I didn't even know that. I don't pay attention until like the week of, and then I'm like, okay, I want that, or my comic shop just puts them in my box.
In the Discord, I figured you'd saw it.
I probably did and then forgot.
It's okay. She ignores me all the time too. It's fine.
I ignore you all the time.
You get used to it.
I drink a lot. I forget.
All right, Grandma. Let's get you back to the nursing home. Bingo starts in an hour.
But this one was, I hate bingo, but this one was very action-packed. And I did a Christmas one. So
what?
I did Astonishing Tales of Santa Claus, and it was 6 different issues.
Was it astonishing?
It was pretty astonishing. It went into a lot of, actually, this is a fun fact. So it went into a lot of different Christmas lore and mythology. So you saw like Sinterklaas, you saw Krampus, different kind of traditions and whatnot from around the world. So I thought that was really cool. It wasn't just focused on Coca-Cola Santa, but he showed up too. But what was very interesting, Matt, is so last year when we were in Barcelona, we learned that there is a tradition where some people have to put a pooping person in the background of their nativity set.
Yes, we did stumble into that store. Yes.
So I bought a pooping Deadpool, and here's my little manger set. He is in the background of my nativity scene. So one of the stories actually combined that with another pooping Christmas tradition from that area that I was unaware of. But what was really cool is at the bottom, after these 6 stories, the author actually writes out the actual lore and mythology compared to the fictional stories he wrote. So you get entertained and you learn, and I freaking loved it. So it was really cool. Great seasonal comic.
Sounds cool.
Image Comics. Go pick it up.
All right. Okay.
Like, so at this point, I have no Christmas issue this year because I had 2 last year. And I was like, of course, the one year I'm hoping I get no Christmas issues.
I'm trying to think. I don't know that there's any other like Christmas ones. I was even browsing. I didn't see any on the horizon. There was like a Terminator one that came out, but I didn't read that.
Is Deviant still going on?
I don't think
so. Remember that one? I started
it
last year, and then I didn't want to keep reading it because Christmas was over.
I don't know. I mean, I was hoping for a Monster High Christmas issue this year because I got a really good one last year, but like...
Yeah, there's still time.
Well,
maybe a Christmas miracle will happen.
We got to write our own then, I guess.
No.
Because the past couple years we've had DC Silent Night out there, but I guess they didn't do that this year either, which is weird. I didn't even notice that.
I have that, and I haven't read it yet because I didn't. I get
more perfect for Fight Month than freaking Santa Claus, dude. Like what? You know what? They're hiring
for DC Silent Night one is. So I have a Hoopla account now through my library because I got a brand new library card. That was one of the recommended ones that came up recently when I was in there just like digging around. And no, nice. I did not borrow it. I need to. I did review for Vendetta on there though, and I will say, so good.
I haven't read that one.
I haven't read that
I read that one quickly. I was like, I just need to get through this fast.
That's how I feel like I was with Invincible. But then when you read things fast, you don't retain as much later on, which I guess is good. Then you can read or watch it again. But I mean, Invincible is 3 telephone books long.
Oh, it really
Or
is.
multiple mini paperbacks if you're smart and get the volume by volume.
Well, so I caught it later and it was cheaper because the phone books were like $40 to $50 a pop.
Oh.
So I was able to buy the whole series, but I couldn't I did bring it to the beach one time. It was very heavy.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually got volume 1 of Jet Li Class for like $10 at my comic book shop like back in September. I was like, oh, thank you.
Oh.
Well, and yeah, pay attention. If you follow your comic book shops, they often do a lot of deals. This past weekend, like mine did a lot of stuff for Black Friday, and of course, small business, day was that Saturday. Yeah, today's Giving Tuesday. Yeah.
Is it? Why are just too many things? Anyways,
so you always review 7,000 comics. What'd you review this?
God, there is so much. Actually, I only did one Marvel, which was Legacy of Vader issue 11, setting up for the finale from Charles Soule and crew. Kylo Ren is on Mustafar. He's getting kind of dominatrixed by Vinay, who's got him strapped to a table. He's going to put him in lava and turn him into Darth Vader himself. Kind of
what?
Weird. Oh yeah, he's like, there's one way for you to transform into Vader, and he's about to dip his ass into lava.
You know what? He acts like he's been so traumatized. They even said, "You don't need that helmet." Well,
Kylo Ren is an absolute trust fund baby, but that's neither here nor there. His parents are his parents staved it. Whatever. All right.
He's one of those that's like,
Jeremy
oh, poor
Kylo.
me.
Yeah, go to Yale and do coke with your friends. But like, anyways, I did do Batman issue 4 from Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. They are introducing the big bad here, the Minotaur. I love the artwork still, really, really good. And then DC Night Fight issue 2, where this takes us Batman. There was a cliffhanger at the end of DC KO1. Batman is in this alternate reality. It's really good. It's Joshua Williamson, who is on an absolute, I've never seen a writer. Joshua Williamson is challenging Scott Snyder for like the definitive DC comics god right now, is what I'm going to say. This man is on a heat. Oh my heavens.
Is that the real DCKO?
The fight month is apparently between Josh and Scott. So that incredible work. Cannot talk enough about that. And speaking of, he did Superman versus Captain Atom, which is the first fight of this new round. Really good. There's a lot of twists and turns that happens. The fights are best of 3. I'm not going to spoil who wins what. But just know it's a best of 3 and you get to choose different outfits and think it's like a video game, dude. It's like they get to choose. So it's like honoring the lore of the character and all the history. So you can choose like the Superman from the 70s if you wanted, or you can choose like modern
in the book,
future Superman in the comic. Yeah. Like,
how do you do that then? Is it like the old dolls?
You gotta
like
read it.
Paper?
Dang it. Okay. Because just know it's the best of 3.
I'm just disappointed Supergirl didn't make it to this next round. I'm like so angry about it.
Look, my girl Zatanna's in it, so that's all I care about right now. But who knows? There's a lot of twists and turns. She could come back. I'm not spoiling. I'm saying I'm
saying about Zatanna. I get you love her. She's going to die at some point, and you know that.
It's magic. She never dies.
Not Uncle Ben.
Back to some positivity. Cheetah in Cheshire robbed the Justice League, where that ends with a massive cliffhanger, and that's a really undersold. Like, people aren't talking enough about how good this run is. Y'all got to read it. Really good. They're robbing the Justice League. They're on the Watchtower. And I think it's going to fold into the KO universe too, as well. Dark Horse Comics has Kill All Immortals Part 2. Issue number 2 is out. We're getting a lot of lore into the trees that are making everybody immortal. It's a very narrative-driven issue. Zach Kaplan's the GOAT as far as this story goes.
Yes, I will agree. I read issue 1 when it came out.
Tell me, yeah.
Yeah, I caught up really quick on it like after it finished because I was like, I could just get it on Kindle. It's about $1.99 each for an issue. It's fine. Caught up really quick on it and was like, oh, this is good. Read issue 1 was like,
so good. What? And yes, it's so action packed. This one is action, but a lot of narrative, and we get a lot of lore and things. And
I feel like the first one was a little more action packed. It's been a while since I read it, so we're diving more into
the reason, like all the different families and immortalities, and
they're not immortal anymore, right?
Well, you'll have to read the book, I guess.
You have to find out.
Won't you? If only it was in our email, Lauren. Anyways, that's what I read. That's what I've got. I took it a little easy.
I mean, we've read a couple of his comics, and he writes fantastic.
That's awesome.
Comics.
He's got Masterminds out right now, and
was the one boy there was another one too. I don't want to try to guess and be wrong, but we've interviewed him for another comic too that was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, Kill 'Em Immortals was his, like, my first book of his I ever read, so I was like, oh, this is a good introduction to him.
Yeah, and that whole art team, like Tiago Roca and Fuko, like they really write action or draw and color action extraordinarily well.
So good. So
the fluidity of it, the brutality, it's bloody, and
oh my god, yeah, the action is just like
it's top notch. I cannot tell people enough, Lauren, that you got to read it.
I have read the first one, and I read the first volume, and then I read the first one of this volume.
Well, guess what?
There's another
issue
one.
2 comes out next week, and then next week or tomorrow is issue 2 when we're recording. But this week, which is now next week,
I'm only one issue behind.
Issue 3's out, so we get back-to-back weeks. I think unless they delayed issue 3 because issue 2 was delayed. But according to League, issue 3 is next week, so I'll have to follow up. I don't know. I'll have to.
That's weird because the last
it might have got delayed.
I had to edit dates on there on League because it got delayed like weird. And I was like, great.
I'll have to look. But according to League, as of right now, issue 3 is next week, but issue 2 is pushed. So we'll see what happens. Go read it. Let's dive into some Santa Claus. Are you guys ready to go to the North Pole?
Wait, I thought we were talking about what we've been watching first.
Oh, shoot. Look, she knows my own show better than I do.
Okay.
I've been keeping up on It, Welcome to Derry. And if you're not watching that, that's...
What are you doing?
The best series of 2025.
I saw a little cartoon of somebody jumping from Hawkins to Derry. I was like, oh, that's cute.
Okay, I don't watch her, so I'm allowed to skip out on it, but I also don't have HBO, so I don't have a way to watch to begin with.
Well, I want to shout out HBO because the reps over at HBO are incredible, and they've given us Peacemaker, and they've given us screeners for Derry now. They've been awesome, and so I've even gotten to watch episode 7 already, which is out now, and I'm not going to talk about it, but just know, wow, this show, listen, I know Stranger Things, but y'all be sleeping on Pennywise the Clown, and I wouldn't do that, my friends. So, Kat,
warning.
You've got some stuff, it seems like. What have you been watching?
Yeah, well, minus the fact that I missed the episode of Murdoch Mysteries last week because I was in the middle of a marathon.
In your Substack.
Well, yeah. But I missed that episode last week. But I was on this past weekend. Apparently, the station was playing old 007 movies. So that.
Are we talking like Pierce Brosnan old, or are we talking like Sean Connery old?
A mix of both.
I was like, wait, are we talking Daniel Craig old?
Oh my god! Well, for Kat, it wouldn't surprise me.
I think Skyball was on Royale. Saturday night. I know for a fact that was on because it was on one night.
I love using Pierce Brosnan 007. Okay,
I thought Daniel Craig did a good job. I liked when he said he didn't give a shit about if his martini was stirred or shaken. I was like, oh, this is nice.
He's a badass. I actually never really watched the Sean Connery ones, but don't let my Josh know that because it's sacrilegious to say that. He's already coming at me about me ranking The Grinch better than Home Alone, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so I missed last week's, and then my plan was to watch last night because the Christmas episode was supposed to be on, and obviously I knew it was going to be on Canada because they had been promoting it all week. 8 o'clock hits, and it's not on. And I was like, oh god, so the guy was right. So it is on next Monday which is weird because it's delayed a week, but it says aired December 1st. And I'm like,
why is this happening with everything?
Why are we being delayed, and why is nobody telling me about it?
We need it now. We're like,
I don't know.
From Willy Wonka.
I'm getting real sick of it.
Daddy.
I'm tired, Grandpa.
I'm fine waiting the week because I'm like, I've got other stuff on anyways that I'm watching, so it's not like it's the end of the world.
I miss the good old days when they said things were going to be on, and they were on when they said they were going to be on.
I'm impatient. Okay,
well,
so
in the same
don't miss laugh tracks though.
True. In the same vein, my cop show Hudson and Rex apparently also rerun last night, which I don't know if I'm surprised because it was a rerun for 2 weeks post the World Series and then had 2 episodes.
Oh, that's always. I remember them doing that with The Simpsons, where they would put the Simpsons Halloween episode after Halloween because of the World Series.
Oh,
like, what the hell? My Halloween decor is taken down now.
The good news is they at least still had episode 6. It just ended up on the streaming service. So I was like, that's fine. I'll still catch it on YouTube. But like, it's weird because You have an episode, 2-week delay, 2 episodes. No episode again this weekend. I'm just like,
They're messing with Kat's emotions. Messing with
eh,
her emotions.
But what else have I been watching? Law and Order Toronto, which season finale is on
Ooh,
tomorrow.
Toronto. I didn't even know there was a Toronto episode version. Okay.
And season 1 finale is on CW tomorrow when we're recording this.
Ew.
I hate saying this. It's my favorite Law and Order show.
Oh, don't
I
let
never
Ice,
actually
don't let
watched
Ice
Law and
T
Order.
hear this. Okay, Ice T's been out there hustling for like 27 years. Okay.
But Law and
it's
Order,
so-
aren't they one of those shows that like they book the bad guy and then he has his case hearing like that day and then the whole court case happens in a week?
I mean,
They only have an hour per episode, Lauren. Jeez.
It's just not realistic.
But it's funny because Law and Order Toronto, it does not follow the same formula of like SVU and like the other ones. It very much is like you see the entire case unfold, but you never end up seeing the trial, which I like.
Yeah, I hate trial shows. When I heard like Daredevil at first, they were saying it was going to be like a legal show. I was like, oh God, this is going to be terrible. And then they had the one episode, which wasn't terrible, but it was definitely my least favorite of that series when they were in the courtroom. Because it's just like, it just takes me out because it's also inaccurate. It's like I hear that from medical people. Oh, I can't watch Grey's Anatomy or ER or whatever because it's so ridiculous. Like they would have killed that person. Well,
Also,
they're actors. They probably would have.
Speaking of medical dramas, Pitt's finally airing on TNT, and I did get to watch the first 3 episodes.
Carrie's
I
obsessed
did
with that
see you
show.
post that in the Discord. I keep hearing amazing things about that.
Carrie's obsessed. She's the most accurate medical show.
It's
the most accurate medical show.
good.
That's her, My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, she's as a nurse. She says it's very accurate.
So
It's
ER,
so
when
good.
ER was out and Noah Wiley was on ER, that was like the one night a week I was allowed to stay up until 11 o'clock because ER came on at 10 on Must See TV on Thursdays when Friends would air at 8.
So, it's funny is when reruns of that were running, I actually was watching it. I was like 8 watching those reruns and not caring.
I was like, I don't know if you were even alive when I was watching it.
The last season, yeah, because my sister and mom were huge fans of that show.
I was like watching it in like 95.
Okay, we get it. You were around when Jesus was born.
96.
The nativity scene is actually a picture that you took from that day.
Yeah, but the Pits, like, I mean, I have been waiting to watch it for like a while because not having
because it was on HBO.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. Absolutely nothing but good things. And I like Noah Wiley.
Black Friday HBO where it's $2.99 for 12 months, so I just bit the bullet.
It's so funny too because like, so
Disney Plus
I
was
watch
like
medical dramas
last month
all the time. And this is like one of the ones that I knew I wanted to see eventually. It's definitely gory, but I think I'm used to medical dramas at this point. But I'm like, it's
so
not
you're ready for it. Welcome to Derry. You'll be fine.
That's going to be a fun change though, because most medical dramas are on like ABC or CBS or whatever. So I didn't even think of that they actually get to do gore.
Yeah. And I think it's funny too because I'm also like a real life human pincushion for reasons if you're in the Discord, you know. But like, it just made me feel so much better because I'm like,
Actually, our guest before, we were actually talking about that in his comic book. He has a character that they've turned disabilities into superpowers, and he was talking about diabetes and how he grew up with type 1 diabetes, and his character gets superpowers from that. So Matt already ordered it for his kid. I'm going to order it when I get off.
I feel so seen now because of that.
Yeah, it looks excellent. So I did order it. I can't wait to read it and share it.
No, I had a gestational diabetes with Brielle. It's annoying. So I can't imagine having to live with it constantly.
Oh, God.
You know who else? Well, I was going to say Santa Claus probably has type 2 diabetes. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, why don't we go ahead and dive into Santa? I didn't realize this movie came out in 2002. I thought it was
forgot. And funny thing is, it's in the room next to me, but I still have the original DVD we bought of it.
I think I do too. I do too. Yeah. No, I had this. I had the original one. So
I rewatched it on Disney Plus, but I still have the DVD. Yeah.
But we are going to go and dive into the Santa Claus 2. So let's go ahead and do that. It was directed by Michael Lembeck, written by Don Reimer, Cinco Paul, and Ken Dario, starring Tim Allen, Elizabeth Mitchell, Spencer Breslin, David Krumholtz, Eric Lloyd, Judge Reinhold, and more. First and foremost, David Krumholtz is on social media, and people give him a lot of shit, apparently. So leave that man alone.
Which one is he? Is he the guy from
He's the elf.
From Harold and Bernard or Curtis?
He's
the
Bernard.
Guy from... Okay, yeah. So he's in 10 Things I Hate About You and Harold and Kumar.
He's Bernard. He seems like an awesome guy. I don't know. Listen,
Okay.
if I knew, I would tell you. But Scott Calvin has been a humble Santa Claus for 8 years, but it might come to an end if he doesn't find Mrs. Claus. So he turns to none other than Life Channel or whatever it's on, where he's got to go 90 Day Fiance.
It's
All
Lifetime.
right.
It's on.
Oh, he's not
Yeah.
reading from the script. He's going off
Oh, no,
book now.
TLC.
Yeah.
He's
So,
all over
you
the
know,
place.
listen, you don't even know, pal. The movie, 2002. I didn't realize that it came out in 2002. Apparently it did. I thought it was much earlier. And so
First one came out like 94.
that's what I'm saying. Like I distinctly didn't remember, but it did do pretty well. So it was made for 65 million and the box office was 172.9 million dollars. So it had a pretty decent reception overall. And in July of 2000, it was actually announced that Disney intended to move forward with the sequel of Santa Claus. The initial draft was written by Don Reimer, where the North Pole is operating at maximum efficiency until Santa is confronted with the challenge of balancing work and personal life. From there, the script kind of changed in April of 2001. It was shot in Vancouver, and it was also shot
That's
at
why
Mammoth
Cat wants to go to
Studios.
Canada.
I do love Canada.
There's a specific place in Canada.
So, if you would like to feel old, a teaser trailer for this film was released with 102 Dalmatians and The Emperor's New Groove.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
It was originally scheduled for release on November 21st, 2001, but it would be pushed a little bit later, and then the next one would be released in 2006. So it has a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes with 121 reviews. So Lauren, why don't you kind of kick us off on the recap? And we don't talk about, listen, for all the good Martin Short has done in the world, he didn't do Santa Claus 3.
I know, and I love Martin Short.
That movie does not exist in
Martin Short, I love you, but you
and I did see that one in
that
theater. That's the only one I saw in theaters. So
I didn't see any in theaters.
So I brought Keely. So we saw a little plane with a few people flying over the North Pole. They hear tiny hammers. The North Pole ends up going to AlfCon 1. Curtis.
Which I will say that entire sequence when it goes into AlfCon 1 is the funniest thing I've seen.
My favorite part is the pilot in the middle of a chorus.
Oh yeah, that too. That is so good.
So Curtis almost reveals the location of the North Pole by playing Santa Claus is Coming to Town. They get it turned off in the middle of a chorus. We meet Chet, a reindeer in training. As Santa walks away, Bernard, the head elf, asks Curtis if he's told him yet. About what? We don't even know what he's told him yet. But yeah, I love that. You better watch out. And that guy actually, the guy who says tiny hammers, he's a vampire in Supernatural. And then, do you remember when we had Ryan Curtis on, who worked in special effects? I remember
our friend Ryan Curtis.
He works in special effects on Supernatural. And then he did a little web series about a guy working at a craft brewery, and the guy who owned the craft brewery was the guy that heard the tiny hammers.
No way.
So he owned a craft brewery, and he's a vampire.
I just want to point out, this is my ideal North Pole. Whenever I think about the North Pole, for whatever reason, like the Santa Claus universe comes to mind.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, man. This North Pole kind of rocks.
I think it's because they used kids as elves, so it makes it all less creepy and more innocent.
Were you saying like dwarves and little people shouldn't be elves?
That is not what I'm saying.
One more time, Lauren. Go ahead.
To Fred Claus. How they took the real people and just shrunk them down.
Anna Kendrick could not even save Fred Claus.
Anna Kendrick was not.
You're right. She's in Noelle.
Fred Claus.
She's in Noelle.
She's in what's the hot blonde is in Fred Claus.
Yeah, because that narrows it down.
Anyway, she's in 40-Year-Old Virgin. She's in a bunch of stuff. She's in the Hunger Games.
Katherine Heigl?
No.
Oh, Elizabeth Banks?
Yes, Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to say Elizabeth, but for some reason I kept going Elizabeth Shue, and I knew that was wrong.
You said Hunger Games. My brain went, oh yeah, the new version of Press Your Luck on ABC. Duh.
Oh.
So she's. I like Fred Claus. I think it's a good movie, but I didn't like the full on. Except I did love Little Ludacris.
Oh, that was terrifying. You love that?
When I saw him at Tortuga, I'm like, you think he's going to play Here Comes Santa Claus? And my friends are like, you need to stop. He's not going to play Here Comes Santa Claus.
This isn't Bowling for Soup. He's not playing Phineas and Ferb.
Oh,
right. Phineas and Ferb did play bowling.
Phineas and Ferb played
Bowling for Soup. Did play Phineas and Ferb at Warped Tour, and it was amazing. And Perry the Platypus was crowd surfing. So
I saw that video and was like,
art.
I should post that on our TikTok because I recorded it for my kids.
Do it.
The kids loved it. All right, I will post that tomorrow. So it's up on our TikTok already. All right, Matt, what happens meanwhile? Well, Charlie becomes a
Meanwhile,
juvenile
Charlie has
delinquent.
himself a little crush, and he's got some spray paint. My man's is out here ready to make some bad decisions tonight because he becomes a criminal as he graffitis on his high school gym walls about how his principal hates Christmas. Oof, come on, Principal Newman, who actually catches him in the act because
Newman.
he goes for a nice little smooch with his little crush, and then he suddenly falls and down early. It's a whole thing. He says, "Hello, Principal Newman." Yes.
Yeah, this is like one of those things that you're just like, there's no way this could be actually happening. And then you're like, oh no,
that
it
was
is
Brielle.
happening.
So I watched it with my 13-year-old, and she's like, he's not painting that. That's not happening. Well, I always thought like the girlfriend should have warned him. How did she not see the principal before she slammed the ladder on the wall?
She was too busy going in for the smooches.
No, I think she saved herself and got the hell out of there.
I don't blame her. I would have done the same thing. Like,
I
sorry,
would have immediately.
we're not. Listen,
trespassing on school property, defacing property. Like,
I've never done that before.
I was a good girl in high school.
I
never got in
on
trouble.
the good list.
Me too. I remember the one time I got yelled at, and it was when I was a patrol, and I was doing what I was told to do, and I hope that teacher's burning in hell. Not really, but I hope she feels bad for yelling at me because I still remember it.
All right.
I never got yelled at. All my teachers loved me.
This wasn't my teacher.
You can't hurt me. Like, I've been, anyways. Side note: did you know that Principal Newman's first name is Carol?
Oh, what are the odds? She should be.
Oh, yeah, that's not a coincidence.
Rather interesting to me. Now, back at the North Pole, Santa learns that Charlie is on the naughty list. And if he doesn't get married soon, he cannot be Santa Claus. The desantification
Santa, not Charlie.
Yes. So Scott Calvin, Papa Gijo, if you will not be Santa Claus if he doesn't get wifed up pretty soon. Talk about commitment. Jeesh. Now, the desantification process has actually already begun.
You're supposed to yell that the desantification process has begun.
I got kids sleeping next year. Now, Santa has a meeting with the Tooth Fairy, Mother Nature, Father Time, Cupid, Sandman, and a very terrifying Easter Bunny who has a lot of kids.
Wait. You're forgetting the most important part of this. The flag football game.
Oh, tinsel football?
Oh, God. You're right. I did. Take us into the scene, Kat.
Oh, my God. This is like the best moment ever. Where it's all the elves playing and Santa's in there. Mind you, I crack up laughing every time I watch this.
Oh, I was in tinsel football, you know. I would get down with that.
I would too.
That sounds like fun. All right, it does.
I prefer the later one when he starts sidelining the elves. And
North Pole is a total vibe. All right, that's a place to work. You know, they have a really great workplace environment. I bet you they really do. Until the third one, but that doesn't exist. So he catches everybody up. Father Time's all like, "Well, you cannot be at two places at once." To which Curtis actually disagrees. He makes a clone in his giant clone machine. It's a very creepy naked Santa. To which Santa convinces Bernard to lie to all of the elves, say he got a makeover that gave him a toy-like quality to him. Before Santa heads out, Bernard gives him a watch that tracks how much magic he has, but if it gets to 0, he cannot come back to the North Pole, allegedly.
Oh, no.
That's tough.
So off to visit Charlie, Santa goes while writing on comic. He's much lighter now and he has less facial hair as he meets Laura and Neil at the school. Remember, Neil is the ex-husband, Judge Reinhold, who wears really tacky sweaters.
Clary says she doesn't like him for some reason. Like, there's always been something about him that she doesn't like. How do you guys feel about Judge Reinhold's character? Like,
I love him and vice versa. Did you ever see that?
Judge Reinhold is awesome. No, I haven't, but
that's a Christmas movie with Fred Savage and they switch places.
Maybe I have. I don't know.
He's his dad.
Are you young?
I don't know. I'm mixed opinion on him because, like, when I was a kid, I always hated him. I despised him in this movie, and then
he's
as I got
older, he's not nice in the first one.
Santa Claus, he's kind of a weenie.
That's all he wanted for Christmas was a weenie.
I mean, yeah, but he's a major weenie. Also, did not realize that Laura here was the same actress. Talk about a glow up. My girl went from freaky, creepy.
Well, she just went from can I see your manager hair to not.
She had Courtney Cox Scream 3 hair in 1994.
Her bangs were not that bad.
They were bad. Are you kidding me? That whole haircut was awful.
Oh, come on.
It wasn't the best, but it wasn't Courtney Cox and Scream 3.
Oh, it was bad.
She looked like she cut her own bangs and she was 3 years old. Like, that was horrific.
Anyways,
as a former front bang person, I feel like I wouldn't be able to disagree with that.
She had a glow up. Okay, that's all you need to know.
I mean,
All
hey,
right.
that's
For
good.
Wendy
She's
Crewson.
probably in her
She-
40s in this, so good for her.
She probably, yeah, I guess that's about right. I was just kind of
He
looking
was
at it.
50. Brielle made me look it up. She's because we weren't sure when he was just Santa. I'm like, no, he can't be that old. And I Googled it. I'm like, oh shit.
Doesn't tell me
He's
how old.
70 now. So yeah.
She was born in
still on TV.
1956, actually. So I'm
So she's
gonna do
older
some,
than my mom.
I'll do some quick. Wow, really?
My mom's
2002
64,
minus
so she's
1956.
66.
She was 46 in this movie. All right,
Oh,
good for her.
I feel like she looks 46.
Okay, well, good for her still. All right, you don't have to age us just because
Well, now I feel like she doesn't look great because she's only 4 years older than me, and that makes me feel old now.
All right. Well,
Like,
what
please,
happens?
Everything makes me feel
What
old.
happens when Toy Santa kind of gets handed some hot cocoa? He's off to visit. Like, what's going on here with Charlie visiting Santa and stuff like that?
So, wait, what? So off to visit Charlie, Santa goes. We did that one. Yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So they're at the meeting with the school principal, who's Principal Newman, and she not so subtly blames Charlie's behavior problems on Santa / Scott Calvin's little presence in Charlie's life.
Wow.
Meanwhile, in the North Pole, Toy Santa gets a little buzzed on hot cocoa in the North Pole and asks for the naughty and nice list. Curtis and Bernard distract him with some tinsel football, where he takes out all the elves.
All right. But again, creepy Santa. This is a kid's movie.
It is creepy.
You're a kid and you're looking at this and that's
Creepy.
Santa Claus.
But what's funny in this scene, because when I was looking up fun facts, one of the fun facts on IMDb was like, he says he's feeling a little buzz because that's a reference to Buzz Lightyear. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Well, nice try, IMDb. No, it's not.
I did not add that to the fun facts because
so terrifying though. It's and then he just like they're sitting there coaching him to like drink it up and stuff, and
he's like putting
it's very careful, it's hot. And he's chugging it. It was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. That Santa Claus is sleep paralysis demon or something. I don't know. Terrifying.
Oh no, there are worse things that are sleep paralysis demons. Pennywise.
No, I'd take Pennywise over this Toy Santa all day.
Oh no.
Pennywise and I are
I would
boys.
not
Like,
take
this
either.
Toy
I would
Santa,
take the
don't
Toy
know.
Santa. I feel like you could take him out at the legs real easy.
Toy Santa's out here chucking elves left and right in tinsel football. That jerk.
Well, I
Which
mean, the elves are little children.
Yeah, but like this.
Yeah, Pennywise eats kids, so.
I mean, this tinsel ball game, I usually have to like skip past it because I'm like, I can't watch this. I can't watch
You
this.
don't like watching kids get? Well, listen, spend all day with a couple of small kids.
That's
like
hilarious.
I do. And
I had to help take care of my younger cousins growing
I
up.
rewind that. I watch it. I rewind it again.
Like, get
I
him,
watch it.
Santa.
Yeah, but those kids had
Take him out.
Coming. Listen, you little shits, you had it coming, all right.
It does a creepy with the hand, though you can like hear the rubber moving.
I know. Oh, gross. Well, there goes gravity. Back to reality. Santa's ex-wife wants to set him up as his beard shrinks more and more. That's when Lucy walks in, Charlie's little half-sister. Later, he's off on a date with Nell's needlepoint sweater in his ex-wife's minivan.
He goes, I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was like something like that. And he goes, he's been set up with Molly Shannon's character, who's wearing a sweater with his face on it. And she breaks out into a song, which is a Christmas parody of Shania Twain. Oh my God.
I will say, I appreciate Molly Shannon in any project she's in because she's
I do too. Molly Shannon's a gem.
When I was rewatching this, I'm like, they should have put this, like, I want this on my playlist for Christmas. Put up a tree, sports on TV. I mean, I'm a huge Shania fan, so.
Like, she was into it singing, and then everybody's just staring at her. And then he was like, it was a little scary. And she goes, I really put myself out there. And I was like, good for you, girl. You really did. Okay.
You know, look terrified.
Maybe it wasn't the right place, but it was.
Maybe wait till the second date. I don't know.
Go to karaoke, maybe as a date, if that's what you're going to pull out. But
I
they
feel
were
like she would have
over Christmas.
Been great. Like, she would have been ecstatic to be Mrs. Claus.
She would have been a great Mrs. Claus. You're right. And after that, the date abruptly ends. Back at the house, Lucy asks if Uncle Scott is Santa Claus, to which he gaslights her. Listen, it was the early 2000s. My parents were, Charlie put.
We're all doing that this time of year. Oh,
no,
I can't even. I'm not even going to say anything aloud. I'm definitely gaslighting.
What do you mean, cat?
Because I'm single and still can't find a guy. I'm going to be the one person in my friends group that will never get married.
You're too good for them, honey. You're too good for them.
Oh, it's not too good for them. It's all the good guys have been taken, and I'm just like, well,
because you make those good guys go bad.
Oh, please don't remind me that you're going to make me download that into my phone.
Right, the Charlie.
I don't even know what he's singing.
It's a song. Duh.
I figured that much if he's
Like
singing
her-
it. I like that you both immediately say it's a song, not who
All right.
sings it or what
Listen,
album it's from.
Charlie's painting strikes again. Scott shows up at the school. He's
Now
almost
we'll
back to
never
pre-weight
know.
Santa. I need that diet routine. Principal wants to suspend Charlie, but Scott suggests community
Teas
service,
and
to which he
salves.
agrees. It
That's
makes
what he
him the
said.
designated parent at the community service. Scott and Principal Newman bond over making fun of a guy with nice legs. Whatever works, I guess. Enter Pamela. She noticed Santa and took some of his magic.
You
Uh-oh.
cost me, Pamela.
Freaking Pamela. She got a stupid name anyways. What kind of name is Pamela?
I don't see anything wrong
Pamela's
with
out-
Pamela.
I don't know. I'm just
What
talking.
Pamela hurt you?
It all started when she was on the centerfold of Playboy.
Oh. Didn't she redeem
thought you were gonna
herself
say
in Lethal
Her and I
Weapon?
were totally getting married when
Not Lethal
7-year-old me
Weapon.
was finding
Oh
magazines.
my god, Matt! The way you were going, I thought you were just gonna say Baywatch. And we'd have been like, yeah, that makes sense.
Nope, I was stealing magazines at the store. That's my, I was definitely on the naughty list.
I think I've only ever by accident stolen one thing ever. My mom maybe
Yeah.
didn't do it, but definitely knew I did
How
it.
dare you steal stuff? I would never steal
Okay,
stuff.
first of all, we were in Pennsylvania at a mall. Secondly, it was something from the Link store.
Ooh, chocolates. I would steal some chocolate. Delicious. They used
Yeah,
to have
a
peanut butter
Lindt
Lindt.
store. I'm like,
Yeah, the Lindt
Lindt?
chocolate
They
store.
sell
They used
Lindt?
to have peanut butter Lindt chocolates, and they stopped making them. And I'm very
I have no
disappointed.
idea what you're talking about. I'm guessing
They
we
still
don't
make
get
the
them here.
orange ones, and I really want to get them at some point again.
Lauren, you don't know what Lindt chocolate is? Yes, you do.
I do. Maybe
How do you not know Lindt chocolate's one of the most?
I don't know.
All right, Lauren.
Add fire a
you-
bag of milk chocolate truffles. Make it easy.
Oh
Make
my
it
God.
dark. Ooh, I like truffles.
Okay.
I stole a jasmine pen one time from the Disney outlet, and I felt so bad I gave it to Erica.
Can
I
just
couldn't keep
take us on to Santa. You need Jesus and Santa.
Okay,
because
I do need Jesus. Okay, so back at the North Pole, Toy Santa is back on his naughty and nice list BS. Everyone is naughty, and he wants them all to get coal. He uses the cloning machine to clone toy soldiers into giant toy soldiers. Scott then randomly shows up at the principal's house, which that's
That
a
was
little
weird. What if I drove you? Well, I can come
And
pick
he-
you up, Scott. Whoa, buddy.
He ends up escorting her to the office Christmas party in a horse-drawn carriage. His magic goes down quite a bit. On the way to the party, Carol tells Scott about how she doesn't love Christmas, but she used to. She believed in Santa for way too long and started getting into fights, so her parents told her it's all just a bunch of hocus pocus and it's time to grow up. So
That's the
Scott
worst thing to do to a
makes
child.
it snow. I've never done that.
Scott, you're blowing
Yeah,
your
I think by the time I was age 16, I was like, yeah, I know he's not real. I'm not going to say it to my younger cousins, but I
He's
know it.
real to me.
I still hear the bell ring every
I don't.
Christmas.
I don't. Bell ring? For what?
Polar Express.
God, that movie is
Oh,
terrifying.
I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the book.
Nah. All right. Well,
Yeah, I've read the book. I still have not seen the movie.
The movie's
don't
terrible.
waste your time.
Creepy.
Now at the most depressing office Christmas party ever, Scott decides to use more magic
What
to
did they
give
sing?
away
Blue
their
Christmas,
favorite
blue.
childhood toys. It starts with toss across.
They
It's a-
needed Ludacris there to up it to "Here Comes Santa Claus, Here Comes
did.
Santa Claus."
They
That
really
really
did.
would have livened the party up.
It ends with baby doll for Carol. She knows it's Scott, but she cannot figure out quite how he did it. And then they awkwardly kiss under a magically appeared mistletoe. Scott again.
It's like the most awkward kiss ever on TV. Like the most awkward kiss
Allen,
ever.
Well, obviously, it was
Tim
fine.
Allen
It
in a
worked
romantic
for what it was
scene.
needed for.
Sure, but I was like, this is making me uncomfortable to watch.
Home Improvement worked because we didn't have to watch him weirdly court Jill.
Jill,
Okay,
right.
I don't
And
want
Jill
to
always put him in his place.
She
You know what's
did.
funny? I was watching Elf with Logan, and Logan was so embarrassed for everything Buddy was doing, and I was like,
You know,
he did
fun
not pay
fact.
attention to Santa Claus too because it was Oliver's birthday, so he wanted to get on the thing
Oh,
with
he
Oliver.
they were hanging out.
Ah,
Look at that
Fun
boy.
fact: my sister freaking loves Elf. That is like one of her favorite Christmas
Elf is
movies.
amazing.
It's a
And
good
White
movie.
Christmas as well.
Oh, Carrie loves White Christmas. White Christmas. She
So-
loves watching some Bing Crosby White Christmas.
One of my very close friends, Jessica, she's been on the podcast. Her son is a phenomenal actor. He's in college now, but he did White Christmas at his high school last year and freaking killed it. He
Second
played
rate.
Bing Crosby's role. Phenomenal. I took both my girls to it. So when we got home the next day, we put on the movie and Brielle was like, yeah, I'm out. I can't watch this movie. And I liked the movie, but it is like they should redo White Christmas because I feel like it's good, but it doesn't stand the test of time for some of the stuff. I feel like hasn't aged perfectly well, and not in a very inappropriate way, just in a like keeping people's attention way.
See, I feel like they would eventually, but I know my sister would be like, "Okay, I'm not
I
watching
don't
a
care.
remake of this."
White Christmas
Well,
isn't
and
my
I think
thing, but,
the
I know it's
classic
important to Carrie, so
people
like, I'm
who-
be interested to see like what she thinks about that.
I do think though that there are people who are not okay with that happening 100%. But I feel like if they want that to continue as a movie, they kind of need to reach out to the next generation.
That's again, if we're gonna keep remaking movies, man, I actually don't disagree. All right, I don't
But it's
disagree.
like I can't think of any Christmas movie before 1983 that people still watch every year, and I'm referring to Christmas Story in '83. So is there
I mean,
anything before '83 that is a Christmas movie that is
Miracle on 34th Street. I don't know if
yeah,
that's.
my
are
mom,
people
she
watching the
loves
black and white
Christmas
one?
version.
I
Or
don't
are they
know.
watching
I
the
don't
one with
know.
the dude from Jurassic Park?
No, my mom's watching. She refuses to watch the newer version. She will only watch the black
Is
and
it?
white.
I love that part of Miracle on 34th Street when the Velociraptor actually pops out and eats Santa Claus. That was probably my favorite part.
That's Kaylee's favorite part too.
Ah, perfect. All right, sick.
Yeah.
Matt, if you're trying to make me give you the middle finger, you're close.
Anyways, let's get back to the Santa Claus
Oh,
2,
allow it.
which we're back to Toy Santa, and the giant toy soldiers have taken over now because there's no
Did
more
not
toys
see
to
that
be made.
coming.
It's coal time. That's what my kids are getting. Bernard tries to warn everybody that he's a fake with a plastic bootay. And
Tushy. He says tushy. That's a
says
quote.
tushy.
Plastic
Oh,
tushy.
so sorry.
And then he grabs his butt and it squeaks.
Well, that's harassment, brother.
No, he grabbed his own butt. That's self-care.
All right, you're right. Anyways, take us to what Charlie does next with his little delinquent ways.
Charlie continues on his juvenile delinquent track as he snowballs Carol's house and his dad yells out the door. Inside, Scott tries to tell Carol he's Santa Claus. She very reasonably thinks he's mocking her, as any person would.
Reasonable adult, yes.
Back at the
but that's me.
back
That's
at
what
his
like,
ex-wife's
Santa
house.
any day. Me, I'd be like, prove it. Make the Packers win the Super Bowl.
You know, even when I read like horror movies and like Stephen King movies, like one of the things that made Salem's Lot so good was that nobody could fathom the fact that it was actually vampires. And that's what made the book so good. So I feel like her denying it makes sense, but you always think like you've never been approached with the supernatural being real because it's not real. So
True.
it's like,
how do you know?
Well, until Jensen Ackles shows up at my door, I won't buy it. If he wants to show up and try to prove me wrong, I will listen.
Yep. Oh, hey Matt, just for the football comment.
Oh, for those just listening, Kat in fact gave Matt the bird.
Oh, Packers win.
And not the Thanksgiving kind.
Wow. You're on a Christmas show with that. Unbelievable. You think you know somebody.
Hey, when we beat you, you're going to know what it's like to feel pain and suffering.
Oh, I know pain and suffering.
You're going to feel like those elves that Toy
the
Santa
weekend I
knocked
met
out.
my in-laws was the weekend the Packers lost the 2014 NFC Championship game to the Seattle Seahawks when they were up with 4 minutes to go, 19-6. So I know pain.
Oh, please.
You can hurt me.
My family knows pain about being Giants fans. And
I like that he didn't say the fact that he's wearing an eye patch right now. That's why he
I
knows
know
pain.
pain. Arr.
He had to go emotional.
Marge.
Glasses on that I got last week.
All right, guys. Listen, Lauren, you didn't even tell me
I
all
didn't
about
finish my
Charlie's
sentence.
delinquent ways. Okay, come on.
So back at the house, though, Charlie's acting like a total little shit. He doesn't care about this anymore. He
Give
doesn't
a
care if
freaking
he
heck,
continues
Dad.
being, and I'm sick of secrets.
Stupid.
And then he goes and gaslights Lucy about Scott being Santa. It is now 2 days till Christmas. Knock, knock. Aren't ya? Aren't you who? Aren't you supposed to get back to work, you little idiots?
I hate the robot Santa, but the lines he has sometimes are just so
They're
funny.
just-
It's
They're
so
just unhinged,
creepy,
man.
but this movie is so this movie is not real. It's a fever
This is
dream.
why it's like one of
This movie is not
movies I
real.
will watch. It's this and Eloise at Christmas time are the only two I will watch.
It's just not a real movie. God,
It's
because
so
at the house, Scott plays Go Fish with Lucy, and Curtis shows up via jetpack. Because again, what else? The jetpack burns out.
They used the jetpacks in the first movie.
They did.
They should have sent the
Elvis
elves
attitude,
back.
man.
Yeah, where are they?
They are disbanded. All right, we don't need them anymore. Mon Mothma got in charge. All right, so tells Lucy that if she doesn't eat a green veggie, she's gonna have pointy little elf ears. And then he gives Scott an update as to what's going on, but they're stuck because guess what? Comet overate some candy. dude, who hasn't been there? Okay.
Ignore my Chet comment.
Chet crash
Nope,
landed.
ignore that.
Oh, okay. Well, suddenly Lucy announces that she has a loose tooth, so they trap the tooth fairy after trying to pull out Scott's tooth. The Molinator flies Scott and Curtis to the North Pole.
Also known as Roy.
Yes. Suddenly has a change of heart. Shows Carol a snow globe. She now believes.
That's not a euphemism.
I think I've seen that movie a couple times.
Okay.
Lauren, why don't you take us to the finish here so we can talk about our thoughts finally, as we've spent a lot of time getting off topic tonight.
Scott makes it to the North Pole,
3.
and he sees Evil Toy Santa ready to deliver coal. Curtis and Scott are tied up, though. Oh no! Enter Charlie from the ceiling. He knocked out his tooth, and he took Carol, and the Tooth Fairy brought Carol and Charlie with the knocked out tooth to the North Pole. So they untie Curtis and his dad. All the elves go to take down Santa with some snowballs and crap, but they need Chet to help. So Santa decides to ride on Chet up. He hasn't left the area. He's taking a really long time to leave the North Pole. So Santa has a lot of time to ride Chet up there. And I believe that's when he says the line, "You are a sad, strange little man and you have my pity," which made my heart so happy.
He's riding Chet,
quoting Buzz Lightyear. So they take down fake Santa and put him in a window with other dancing Santas. He marries Carol. Charlie's tooth magically comes back, and Santa and Charlie deliver the toys. They stop at the house to see Lucy. They let her in on the secret. Go fish! Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Chet!
Whoa, this movie's unhinged, man.
I do love so much.
I love him.
Oh, Chet.
He's the best.
I think one of the best delivered lines in this entire movie, though, is Lucy at the very end when she learns, she's like, "I love you, Charlie," and it's a really sweet moment. And then she goes just full, pure little kid at Christmas. "Do I still get presents?" And I was like, that was just so accurate.
That was all of us at a young age.
100%. And she freaking nailed it.
You know, something I kind of think about when I watch these movies, when you're dealing with like really young kid actors in Christmas movies, how do you what if they still, do you just tell them Santa's not real? Or
why would you do that though? Because he is real. In fact, they actually filmed this movie. So if you watch the extras on the DVD, they filmed this movie at the North Pole, and they actually put bags on people's heads while driving them to the North Pole to film it. So they did.
That's your delightful Derek.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, if you have the DVD, put it on. What's funny is I Googled the
Okay.
DVD extras rather than pulling the DVD out. But I remembered watching that with Kaylee when I was little, and they do a phenomenal job. They interview everybody, and they're in the North Pole, and they're like, "Yeah, it's been really cool getting to film this up here at the actual North Pole." And we're really trying to.
I can't tell. I'm almost believing this.
It's true.
You did a really good job.
No, I'm not joking. This is real.
I think she's being serious. Why would she be joking and lying?
The DVD extra they talk about. Everything I've just said is from the DVD extra. I'm not making this up. This is not coming from my brain. Well, it's coming from my brain, but it's coming from something I learned, not made up. I'm sure that's a different part of the brain. You're fact checking me, you son of a bitch. You belong on the naughty list.
A short in-character set tour hosted by Spencer Breslin, the courtesy.
That's Curtis. Yes.
Would you look at that? I was
wow.
Hi, and we're watching that set tour.
5.5 years of podcasting. That's the first time you have fact checked me when I was certain.
I think it
I
actually
am insulted, sir.
Wow. All right. I stand here corrected. I'm a man corrected.
You're sitting down, tears. You liar.
All right. I did not realize that. I never watched the DVD extra on that one. You learn something new every day.
I told you. I love this movie. I feel like more than I should have, because I probably watched it in 2003. So I was like 20 years old the first time I watched this.
I was, oh my God, how old was I?
12.
Thought.
Well, I think I bought it for Kaylee because I didn't have cable, so it was probably a discounted DVD because I would buy DVDs and she would watch the same DVDs over and over. Which is probably why I love it.
We're talking DVD came out. I must have been. If this was before the events of what happened the March that following year, I think I was 5 when I got to watch this the first time.
What happened March that following year?
I don't know.
March 2024?
No, 2004. Jesus.
2004.
2004. I was
really bad at math.
Yeah, my brain is just like.
Well, I do want to hear, Kat. What are your favorite scenes and moments from this movie, particularly? Because like
Literally just
this,
the
you
first
love these
football
movies.
game.
Or
I
is
was like,
the football game?
that
That's
in
what
the
sold
opening
you.
is like my favorite.
You just love some tinsel football, some tinsel
And
flag
like the
football.
opening moment where they go into AlphaCon 1.
Yeah, it's
Better
good.
watch out.
You
better
know,
not cry.
Tim Allen may not have aged well, particularly, but I've got to say, like these movies,
Personality wise.
I'm talking about like he's now on like last.
Did you wait? Did you try to watch the Santa Claus the series on
It
Disney
wasn't
Plus?
good. I didn't watch it. Kat, did you
We
watch
started
the
it. We didn't
series?
finish it.
I had planned to, and then I think it was either I forgot or something came out on a different streaming service that I ended up getting sucked into, and it just didn't get a chance.
But when a show is really, really good, you're not going to get sucked. So Brielle and I started
I didn't
it.
get into it, so
We didn't love it, so it kind of. I did like Charlie's actually living in South Florida. I thought that was funny. So it was
yeah.
funny. I was glad they included him because I don't think he's acting anymore. But then they brought in the witch from Italy. I forget what her name is. I can't remember. I'll be at Epcot tomorrow. I can find out.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be at Epcot tomorrow. Look at me.
No, she's always in Epcot at Christmas time. She's a witch. What's her name? I'll just.
It's the storyteller, but I don't remember who.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty Italian. I feel like I should do this.
All right. While you're doing that, let's go into a little bit. We've already talked about the Toy Santa
La
comment.
Befana.
Yeah.
So they actually
We'll
have La
talk to
Befana in the series, and Kumar's in this series because they talk about Kumar
He
taking over
is.
as Santa.
Yes.
So there were some positive things of the series. It just didn't really hit, and Tim Allen did make a joke that I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't agree with that.
He's in a show where he just complains about like today's generation too much with Kat Dennings.
Okay, so that's on reruns. He's on a new show on ABC though.
There's another new show?
Yeah, it's called it's in its second season, but it's called Shifting Gears. It has Kat Dennings in it.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that one. He was on like that's the show I'm talking about.
That one
has like Last Man Standing, but he's on the Kat Dennings show where he still makes like the old like, oh, you kids these days. Okay. Oh,
is he playing a father? Of young children.
Yeah, he is. No, Kat Dennings.
What?
Oh, okay.
Last Man Standing, he is, but not.
That's okay. I'm just making sure at 70 years old, he's not still playing a dad to like young children. I'm like,
he's playing like an old like boomer who makes jokes about this younger generation.
I really like Kat Dennings, so I feel like she would.
Anything for
I don't know her as a person. Let me rephrase that. I really like Darcy.
So I loved her in Two Broke Girls. That was like my.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've never seen
Two Broke Girls. Two Broke Girls was good.
My mom, sister, and me used to watch that.
Too.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine she'd be in a show she wasn't okay with.
Fun facts. We got Peter Boyle was Scott's boss in the first movie, and in this, he's Father Time. Good for you, dude. What an upgrade. When Scott is trying to explain to Carol that he is Santa, she says, so far, so good. You don't wear socks with sandals, so you've never been to prison. Scott replies, well, and that's because in Detroit, once upon a time, he in real life did do time for drugs. In the movies, he got arrested in the first movie. So,
yeah, I think that was in regard to the first movie, but obviously it is a funny.
In real life, he was selling cocaine.
That he got arrested for selling. I think it was cocaine. Yeah, but there is a deleted scene where he's telling his ex-wife and Neil. I can't remember her name. He's telling them that he's dating Carol or whatever, and the socks with sandals comes up, and his ex-wife actually brings up. She's like, "Well, there was a time where you were wearing socks with sandals." So he could have also been referring to that, and then the scene got deleted.
He could have. There is a hidden Mickey now in Santa's room before he gets the news from the elves.
Hidden. It's a full-on Santa or full-on Mickey. It's old school.
This is something I
did not know that. I never knew that either.
When you first go into the room, if you look to the right, it's right there in the corner of his room.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
There's also you see Pooh Bear with the windy toys.
Oh, I don't think I know. I don't think I've seen that.
I noticed that. I think the first time I watched it because I love Pooh Bear. I think Pooh Bear and Tigger are both of the pop-ups with the toy, which is the same one.
Okay, wait, no, I think
Elf,
I do remember this.
Which I just ruined one of the future fun facts.
That's okay. Go ahead. So the line "quit the chit chat." Chet comes directly off say that 5 times fast. Off the season 1 episode of Tim Allen's Home Improvement from 1991, where a man named Chet on the phone babbles too much during the game of Stump the Tool Man. what happens next, Lauren? Take us through some more fun facts.
In the restaurant scene, you can hear extras in the background repeatedly saying the same thing. Oh my God, I'll drink to that. Cheers. I tried to personally verify this, but there's just too many kids in my house and there's too much going on. I couldn't
I'm
hear
also
that.
not paying attention like that all the time to movies I've seen before, so.
Same.
So this is the first
I'm
Santa
all-
Claus film to be rated G because Scott says hell in the first one.
Oh my God.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yet they
that's
rated
right.
movies
I
G when
forgot
they
about
said
that.
did so much worse back in the 80s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh,
You already ruined the
script
Jack in the
changes-
Box.
I
You
feel like
actually
I'm-
talked about this earlier on. Script changes delayed the film to 2002, which actually saved Tim Allen from being in the film Cat in the Hat.
Oh, I would
Oh.
love to see that one.
I feel like it wouldn't have been as whatever because I don't think he would have made the same jokes as Mike Myers. I love
That
Mike
movie is
Myers.
terrifying.
I mean,
Oh
Mike
my
Myers, Canadian. He's a Canadian
God.
treasure.
He is, but that was the beginning
Right.
and the end for Mike Myers, though.
But I can't
As we
see
know,
Tim
it's-
Allen stepping on a hoe and calling it a dirty
No,
hoe.
he would
Like,
just step on it and be like,
Mike Myers, he can get away with it. Tim Allen would not be able to get away with it.
no, he'd be like,
right.
yeah.
The only dirty joke Tim Allen ever made was when Buzz Lightyear's wings shot out after Jesse did the little loop-de-loo and opened the door for the dog to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Buster. Yeah.
Buster, yeah.
Oh my
that
God.
movie.
So
good.
Jesus. So all of Santa's reindeer in this film, including Chet, are robotic puppets. In the first one, they were mostly robots as well, but there were scenes where live reindeer from the Toronto Zoo were used. I pointed to Cat because we love Canada here. And then, last but certainly not least, in Bewitched, in 1964, season 1, episode 15 to be specific, A Vision of Sugar Plums, Liliana's mummy's father's. Oh my gosh, that is
Liliana Mummy, who
Liliana-
plays
Yes.
the sister in this. Why am I already forgetting her? Lily.
Played a
Is her
little
name
orphan
Lily?
boy
Did
named
I make that
Michael.
up?
Okay, Liliana's
Anyways,
Lucy.
Her
Her father got to go to the
Lucy.
North Pole and meet Santa. Good Lord, that's a
There you go.
tongue
Yeah,
twister.
her actual father was an actor, and he played a little boy named Michael, and he got to meet Santa in Bewitched.
Look at that.
The
But
real
yeah.
Santa, actually, too.
He did. I had
Oh.
heard that as well. It might have been a little kidnapping
Interesting.
of why there's children at the North Pole in this movie, but hey, neither here nor there, right?
They're not children. They're like hundreds of years old.
That's what you think.
They have pairs of shoes older
All
than
the
you,
kids who
Matt.
get lost at Disney.
No, they go to
They either go to
Small
Small World or Disney or North Pole. So
Or in the case of my sister, you accidentally run away from your parents and go hug Tigger. This is a real story that actually did happen to her when she was a kid.
you should.
Well,
take.
I mean, there's
Just
only one
100% of the
Tigger.
hugs you don't take, so I don't blame her at all. So
Hugging's what Tiggers do best.
that just
And
sounds
bouncing.
really wrong.
Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Okay. Yeah, we've done Santa Claus 2. Do you guys have any final thoughts about this movie before we go ahead and wrap up?
I really need to rewatch it because I think I forgot half of what happened.
You were all about it. I rewatched it yesterday. It was fresh, a little too fresh.
You know what? Honestly, I meant to rewatch it today, and then because it was bad weather out, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this while it's raining.
Cat's horror movie. I told you this movie's a horror movie. It's Lauren. Do you have any final thoughts?
I like this movie.
Kat, where can people specifically find you though as well? Like all your reviews, where can people like your Substacks, all of that good stuff?
Yeah, well, you can find my reviews and reviews and articles, obviously, on NI website. Hopefully more interviews coming next year. Trying to figure that situation out. So, yeah.
I'm pumped.
And then, my Substack. So, considering there wasn't a Hudson and Rex episode on this week, it's probably going to be pretty light. Spirit Award nominations do drop tomorrow via Film
Oh, that's
Independence.
right,
I am working on a thing for that. So, just, yeah. I don't know. It's been one of those weeks where, like, nothing I wanted to watch was on. So I was like, well, I guess
It's holiday week. Yeah, we're
It's
still.
also
It's less than a week away from Thanksgiving when we're recording this.
Yep. And it's time
No,
to
the
fly.
week
It's the
after
end of the year.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So
Well, and we always make comments like, "Oh, it's the holidays," da da da. But before we know it, it's gonna be January, and then like there will
and
be
then
other
it's like,
reasons for
but it's
everything.
March. There's
Right,
the
we're
Ides of
welcome to
March are
adulthood.
upon us. Okay.
We're just constantly
Yeah.
catching up. And now the
Yeah,
kids are
and
on
then
spring
Canadian
break.
Film Award nominations come in spring, and I don't know if I'm ready for
We'll
that.
be at MegaCon. So
But
yeah. And I'm going on a
Yeah.
Disney cruise this week when you're listening to this, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm driving down to see Lauren again for like the 17th time this year, and pretty soon she's going to bar me from her house, and so we'll see how that goes.
Matt, I'm just insulted you're going on a cruise.
Yay!
I've never been on one ever.
Oh, we got to take a giant
Oh,
Disney
wow.
cruise. We're looking at the Destiny. It's everybody involved. We're all going. They're Mickey boat or die. I will not go on anything that's not to me. I've seen people
Matt
be
tried
like,
to pick one that was going to cost us 17 grand, and my husband's like, and now
"That's,"
Josh is sending me other vacations we can do for cheap.
and that's yeah. Carrie said she's out, and I was like, I didn't realize, but then we found one that's much more reasonable. So maybe we can pitch that while we're down there at Sanford. Like
Well,
a
then
lot
he
of
tried
beers.
to tell me, like, you don't need to go on the Destiny. I'm like, say that one more time. I'll book it right now. Like, don't talk to me like that.
You telling me I can't? I don't need to go
See,
on the It's
I'd love,
Hercules, dog. Hercules is the one.
I would love to take expensive vacations like you guys, but I unfortunately have the problem of I keep getting ghosted every time I apply for a job. So it's
Oh,
not like I could do anything.
We
I
need
feel like
sugar.
jobs, it's really who you know. Like, I
Sugar
feel like
daddies.
almost every job I ever got was because I knew somebody that got me the job.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
can interview
I don't have that kind of
perfectly,
connection.
and
It
it's like
is.
you just got to put yourself out there as much. Not every job, but most of my jobs. But
You know what? It's all real. It's not even real. It's all made
you
up.
never know what's
anyways,
going to
so
happen. Weird crap will end up falling in your lap, and other things
true.
you'll have to like tackle to get.
It's true. But
You never know.
yeah. So make sure you tune in this week. Actually, when this drops, the 10th, we're going to be doing our live Christmas variety show. If you,
I have new Christmas hats, so tune in for that.
I gotta film a really good
Ooh, I
Hallmark
may
one,
have to
man.
remember to watch.
Yes, it's going to be live on our YouTube page, so make sure you tune into that, subscribe, all
Wait,
that.
wait,
Good
is
stuff.
it live on a Wednesday?
Yeah, at 9 Eastern.
I don't have. Oh, I don't have Live Order on that week. I can
Yeah.
watch.
See, look at that. You ain't got nothing. It's okay. We rearranged the trial, got pushed. It was a whole thing. So yeah, make sure you tune into that. And as always, go in, follow Kat's, socials, Substack, all that stuff is in the link of this episode.
She's the one that inspired me to do a Substack.
Yeah, believe it or not, she did. She did some
I'm
inspiration.
also literally surprised you didn't mention anything in Discord about us doing this. So I'll be glad that everyone's going to be surprised when they see this.
Yeah, you just wait. I can't wait. It's always a pleasure.
I
when
like to
Kat
go
comes
full
along,
dog.
so.
Surprise, mother trucker.
Surprise! It's Christmas time, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Cheers, everybody.